Day 438 of doing a LeetCode problem every day until I get a job. All right, y'all, we're back again another day, another LeetCode problem where we're doing daily LeetCode problems. And today we have question number 3136, valid word. The difficulty level is easy, so you already know we're going to keep the solution as simple and easy to understand as well. But before we get started, y'all, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And if you need any new Apple AirPods, go ahead and check out that link in the description so you can get you some. Now let's see what the question says. A word is considered valid if it contains a minimum of 3 characters, it contains only 0 to 9 in English letters, uppercase and lowercase. It includes at least one vowel, it includes at least one constant. You are given a string word, return true if word is valid, otherwise return false. Notes: A, E, I, O, and U are their uppercase, and their uppercases are vowels. A constant is an English letter that is not a vowel. All right, y'all, so that sounds pretty simple, but let's go ahead and take a look at these examples just to make sure that we're doing this problem correctly. So in example 1, we have the input word equals a string 234 ADAS. The output is true. Explanation said this word satisfies all of the conditions. So as you can see, this string right here satisfies each of these conditions. It has a minimum of 3 characters. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 characters. So it has a minimum of 3 characters. It contains only digits 0 through 9 in English lettercase letters in English letters, uppercase and lowercase. So as you can see, it only contains numbers and English letters, upper and lowercase. It includes at least one vowel. We have multiple vowels. We have an A here and we have an A here. And it includes at least one constant. It also has multiple constants, has a D here and an S here. So thus, since it satisfies these 4 rules right here, all of these 4 rules right here, then our output is true. So let's take a look at example 2 where it doesn't satisfy all of the conditions. So in example 2, we have our input word equals a string B3. Our output is false. Explanation says the length of this word is fewer than 3 and does not have a vowel. So as you can see, this length only has 2 characters. We need at least 3 characters and it needs to have at least one vowel. This example right here has a B. B is not a vowel, so it does not contain a vowel, which means it does not fulfill 2 out of these 4 conditions, and we need 4 out of 4 conditions to be satisfied. And since it only satisfies 2 conditions, we return false. So let's take a look at example 3. In example 3, our input word equals a string $A3 $E. The output is false again. Its explanation said this word contains a $ character and does not have a constant. So as you can see, we're only allowed to use vowels, constants, or digits 0 through 9 or English letters. So we're only allowed to use English letters, which is a vowel or constant, and the digits 0 through 9. This this $ right here is not a English letter or a digit, right? It's a special character. So since it's not an English letter or a digit, it does not satisfy this condition right here. And since it doesn't satisfy that condition, it's false. Also, as you can see, there's no constants. It's an A, it's an E right here, and an A right here. Both of those are vowels. There are no constants. It has a digit, but there's no constant. So that's another condition that it does not satisfy, which also makes the output false. So now that we understand the question, y'all, let's get into the fun part, the actual solution. Solution is not that difficult to understand either. Make sure you stick around after the first solution because we have a second solution so we can have multiple ways of solving this problem. Now, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to convert the input word into an array of characters. To do that, we're going to say let word array equal is going to be an array, open up the parentheses, word, and that's going to turn this word, which is currently a string, it's going to turn it into an array. Boom. Then we're going to check if the word has 2 or fewer characters, then it's automatically invalid. So we're going to say, use a guard statement for that. We're going to say guard word array array dot count is greater than 2, else we could open up the brackets and we could just return false right away. Boom. Now we need to define the set of lowercase vowels for comparison. So we need to make sure that we need to define the vowels A, E, I, O, and U right here. Boom. So for that, we could say let vowel set equal, it's going to be an array of strings. So the first string A, comma, open up quotation marks, E, comma, quotation marks, I, quotation marks, A, E, I, quotation marks, O, sorry y'all, that should be an O, not a 0, O, and U. Boom, these are all our vowels right here, A, E, I, O, and U. Boom. Then we have to track whether the word contains at least one vowel or one consonant. So for that, we're going to use some flags. We're going to declare a variable called val present, and we are going to set that equal to false to start. Then we're also going to create a variable called constant present, and we're going to set that equal to false to start. And we're going to use these to see if it includes at least one vowel, or it includes because it needs both, and it includes at least one constant. Boom. Now we're going to iterate through each character in word. So for that, we're going to say for alphabet in word. Boom. We're going to open up the brackets. So first we're going to check to see if alphabet, or let's just change this to character. For character in word. So first we're going to see if that character is a letter. So we're going to say if character dot is letter, we're going to open up the brackets. And if the character is a letter, we're going to check if it's a vowel. So we're going to say if vowel set dot contains, open up the parentheses, character dot lowercase, put the parentheses at the end. So this is going to check to see if the character is a vowel or not. We're going to say vowel present. We're going to set that flag equal to true. We're going to set this right here, this flag right here, equal to true. Boom. Then we can say else. We're going to mark a constant as present. So we can say we can say else. We can say constant present. Boom. And set that equal to true. And remember, this only is going to, this right here, this if statement is only going to run if the character is a letter. Boom. Then we come right here onto this if statement, and we'll say else if exclamation point character dot is a number. So if it's not a number, then we could just return false, right? So if it's not a letter or a number, then that means it's probably a special character or a symbol, then we could just return false. So this exclamation point means if it's not a number. So it's going to check if it is a letter, and then this right here is going to check if it's not a number. So if it's not a number or a letter, we could return false. And then all we have to do is come right here and say return val present and constant present. Boom. So we're only going to return true only if the word contains both at least one vowel and one constant. So that's what this is going to do right here. And that should be all she wrote, y'all, for the first solution. So let's go ahead and give it a run. Let's give it a run, see how it runs. Okay, so we have an error. Sorry, y'all, this should be an equal sign right here. Let's run it again. See if it works. Cannot find vowel present and scope. Sorry, y'all. Boom, put that E in. Now let's run it. Let's run it. Let's see it's accepted, y'all. So let's go ahead and submit it. Make sure it's still accepted after we submit it. And look at that, y'all. 0 milliseconds beats 100% of users. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I like to see. So before we go to the next solution, make sure you get one more look at this code. This is the bottom part of the code. This is the top part of the code. Boom. Now let's get into the second solution. Okay. So for the second solution, what we are going to do is we're going to use some NS regular expressions. So some I don't even know what to call it, how to call it, but we're going to use some regular expression patterns. So for that, what we are going to do is we are going to say let re, and this is it's shorter code. It might seem more confusing, but at least if you see this on your journey, you'll at least know what's going on. So we're going to say let re equal try exclamation point. This is going to be an NS regular expression, just like that. Boom. Then we're going to open up the parentheses. We're going to say pattern colon. Boom. Now we're going to open up our quotation marks. First thing we're going to do is we're going to make it case sensitive or case and sensitive matching. So for that, we're going to say open up the parentheses, and we're just going to say question mark I, just like that. Then come right here. That's going to let us know that it's case sensitive. Make sure you close the quotation marks after the I. Then we're going to come right here. We're going to put this where is it? This right here, this up caret right here. And that's going to meaning that's going to let it know that we're starting the string. Then we are going to say open up some more parentheses, and we are going to say question mark equals period star, open up the square brackets. Then we're going to say B dash DF dash HJ dash and P dash TV dash Z. Boom. And what that is going to do is it must contain at least one constant. So this right here, this is going to check for the constants. Boom. We'll go through all of this again once we finish the whole expression. But for now, that's where we're at. This right here is going to handle our constants for us. This is where we're going to check for the constants. Boom. Then after that, close parentheses, we're going to open up some more parentheses, and this time, this is how we're going to check for the vowels. We're going to say question mark equals period star, open up the square brackets, and we're just going to say A, I, E, O, and U. And that's how we're going to check for the vowels, or at least one vowel. And then we need to make sure it's only lowercase letters, or we're going to check for only lowercase letters and digits and at least 3 characters. So everything else, so up until then, right now, we just have to say so to check for the letters, the lowercase letters and the digits, we're going to say, come outside this parentheses, and we're going to open up the square brackets, and we're just going to say hold on, make sure the square brackets close too, but we're going to say A through Z, then we're going to say 0 through 9. And once again, that's going to check for the lowercase letters and the digits. And then to make sure it's at least 3 characters, we're going to come right here. We're going to, outside of the square brackets, open up some regular brackets. And we are going to say 3, comma. And that's going to make sure it's at least 3 characters. Then we put this $, which is going to signal the end of the string. Boom. So before we keep going, let's go through this one more time, and so we can understand what's going on. This part right here is gonna let us know that it's let the compiler know it's case sensitive. Then we come right here. This is going to be this up caret. This is going to be the mark the start of the string. Boom. Then this right here is letting it know it must contain at least one constant. So this right here is going to identify the constants. This right here is going to identify the vowels. This right here is going to identify lowercase letters A through Z and 0 through 9. And this right here is going to let it know that it should be at least 3 characters. And then this right here is going to let it know that it's the end of the string. Boom. Now let's keep going. Now we need to define the range of the input string for matching based on UTF-16 length. So for that, we could say let range equal NS range, open up the parentheses, we're going to say location, colon 0, comma, length, colon, word, dot UTF-16 dot count. Boom. Now we need to check if there's at least one match in the word and return true if the word satisfies all conditions of the regex. This is the regex. This is the word I didn't know how to say earlier. Regex. Boom. So for that, we're going to say return re.first match, open up the parentheses, n, colon, word, comma, options, colon, square bracket, comma, range, colon, range, come outside of that parentheses, and we're going to say does not equal nil by saying exclamation point equals nil. Now that should be all she wrote for this solution. Let's go ahead and give this a run. Let's see, and that's accepted. So let's go ahead and submit this one. See what happens after we submit it. And boom, 10 milliseconds beats a %. I don't know what that means, but I wanted to make sure y'all got to take a look at how the regex expressions work, or how the regex works, because you may come across it in your journey or in your career path, or whatever you may be trying to do with your coding journey. So I just want to make sure to include this solution as well. It's a little bit harder to understand than the first solution. That's why I wanted to make sure we had the first solution, so that we can still walk away from this video having learned something. So with that being said, y'all, I hope y'all learned something today, and I hope to see y'all here tomorrow for another day, another LeetCode problem. See y'all then.